Peace, world, and welcome to another Substantial Weekly. My name is Substantial. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And you might be watching on Twitch as well, so welcome there. And do me a favor, it's your first time tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on the video, and feel free to share it as well so we can get more folks to join us. But hey, man, happy Friday to everybody. Definitely good to see folks up in here. If it's your first time watching, also be sure to say peace and let me know where you watching from. Go ahead, shout out your area, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, per usual, lots going on. First and foremost, shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Ice Killer watching on YouTube along with Uncrowned Otaku, Nice Afro. I see y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Lots of updates to get into. I'm not gonna waste a whole lot of time. We're just gonna go ahead and jump into it. But first and foremost, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, man. Let's see. It's like there's so many different things I want to talk about today. But before I jump into everything, man, I wanted to first and foremost, salute the legendary B.I.G. This week was the anniversary of his passing. You know what I mean? And I got this classic album here, one of my favorites, Ready to Die. Um, yeah, man, that album, dude. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I remember. I think the first two songs I heard from the album was "Juicy," of course, which was playing on the radio, and then the other song that I heard. Hey, oh man, thank you so much, family. The second song I heard was the What featuring Method Man, and needless to say, hey man, I was a fan of Big out the gate. But again, man, shout out to everyone who's watching right now, going down the line. Uncrowned Taco, peace. Nice Afro, peace. Ice Killer was going on, and shout out to Alex Camacho for just joining us. Also, AO, peace. What's up? What's happening, family? We got brother Throat Punch up in his joint, peace. And hey, my man, Boy Blaze 2000. Two coming through real strong with the super chat. Thank you so much, family. I definitely appreciate that. Obviously, when I do this, it's just me volunteering my time. So I don't necessarily make anything when I do these lives, whether it's these live performances I do on the channel or these. So any donations that you make to the channel are always appreciated. Thank y'all so much. So yeah, man. But again, I just wanted to take a quick second to salute the legendary Notorious B.I.G. This particular vinyl that I have here was an exclusive that Vinyl Me Please dropped some years ago. And they had the different color vinyl and stuff, man. I love showing it off. It's just it's a beautiful specimen, you know. It's pretty dope. Yeah, man. Beautiful record. It's a double LP, got the red vinyl, and then also got the white splatter vinyl too. See if I can grab that for y'all, show y'all the joint. But yeah, man, shout out to the folks at Vinyl Me Please, man, for always making really dope exclusives. You know, so check that out as well. It's pretty sexy. Yeah, man. But shout out to all the vinyl heads in the room. But rest in peace to Notorious B.I.G. Quick question for y'all: what was your favorite? What's your favorite big track, man? Like, what's your favorite Biggie song? What's your favorite guest appearance maybe that Biggie made? And also your favorite video. Let me know in the chat right now. Shout out to my brothers, Sherm the Barber and Jay Cass, who I used to do the Three the Odd Way podcast with. We had a really dope video, which I'll try to link to this one at some point. I'll try to make sure that happens today. We had a really dope video where we talked about the exact same thing I asked y'all, which was to let me know your favorite big song, guest verse, and then also video. My favorite video all time by Biggie, unfortunately, is the one he wasn't in because of him being killed, which is "Sky's the Limit." Just because of the whole concept that they came up with, where they had the kids and everything, and like playing younger versions of him, Junior Mafia, Faith, and Diddy, and all of them. It was just super dope, and I really love that song in terms of like the message And like it's hard to listen to a lot of times because he seems so hopeful for his future, even though he ended up losing his life. And so yeah, man, just a great record. And obviously, I love that video. And then probably my favorite guest verse, man. Listen, one thing that people don't talk about enough when they talk about the Notorious B.I.G. is, yo, like I think you would be hard pressed to find people who have killed almost every guest verse. I can't think of a weak guest verse that Big had. And he was really dope, even when they came on his album or whatever. Like, yeah, man, he just always just, Brooklyn's Finest, for example, when he linked with Jay was crazy. And then of course, I think of features that he had on his album, which I think when we first read that Big was doing something with Bone, it didn't sound like it was going to make a lot of sense, right? Like it was just something I don't think most people could picture. But Big came through, adapted to their flow, and destroyed it. And then of course, Bone killed it too. But salute to all of them, man. And yeah, man, in terms of Biggie's song, like what's my favorite? It changes from time to time. But man, so many joints. I don't know. I'm partial to the What mainly because that was like I think the second track I heard from him. And it wasn't like the commercial single. It was just really like just showcasing how dope he was lyrically. But yeah, man, definitely rest in peace to the Notorious B.I.G. Salute to Bad Boy, Diddy, and all the fam. But yeah, man. Anyway, yeah, man. So many dope joints. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, keep it moving. Let's see who else we got in the chat as well. That's what's up. That's some of the comments. Also, you'll be seeing the bot come through throughout the posts or whatever, just kind of dropping some of the links that I would normally drop in. That's a new thing that's happening, just giving y'all heads up. Nice Afro says, I remember listening to Jay-Z's first album way late and hearing Biggie on it, and I was like, damn, Jay-Z, is that all? Word, Jay's 50 plus now. Jay been at it a long time, man. And it's crazy. Even before that album, when Jay-Z's first album came out, he was already in his early 20s. So it wasn't like, and this is a little hip-hop history, is a lot of rappers, when they made their debut, a lot of them were in their late teens, right? So like Jay making an album that came out, I want to say, man, how old was he exactly? He was definitely in his mid-20s. So like, and I think there was a maturity in his record that we didn't hear in other places and stuff. And he had already been paying his dues in the underground as well. But salute to Jay as well. We got Tommy Hackett up in here. Peace world. That vinyl. I love Juicy. His favorite guest verse. I come back to that Super Cat. Oh yeah. That's when we first got that. I love it when they call me Big Papa. Yeah, man. That's where that sample comes from, that Super Cat verse. Salute the Super Cat. You know what I mean? An underrated artist as well, man. Darling, my baby. Classic. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, it's real. Jay definitely got me by 10 years. I'm on his heels, B. It's you see all this great. You're doing work, you know. Let's see. Yeah, I remember Reasonable Doubt like 20 years like yeah, it's all good, Nice Afro. Hey, at least you made it to the party. Some people ain't make it to the party at all, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, let's go ahead and jump into some of these other things. So the first reminder I want to jump into is just to give everyone heads up about the next live that's going down. And that is with my sister from another mister, Steph, y'all. Shout out to Stephanie Gayle. Stephanie Gayle will be joining me for the next live from home, which will be going down right here on this YouTube channel. And this will be the first time that Steph will actually, not the first time I want to say, yeah, it might be the first time she'll be here since the pandemic, like in my place. But this will be the first time I've had an actual guest in studio for the live. So definitely, man, shout out to Steph in advance because I know it's going to be dope. I mentioned it in the last video, but y'all can continue to share with me and let me know what are some songs y'all are looking forward to hearing us do. Obviously, we might not be able to get through them all because we've done a lot of music together. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time regardless. I'm super looking forward to it, man, because me and Steph always have fun when we get on stage together. And this stage is just a little different. All right. Shout out to Jay as producer. Peace, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Shout out to all my folks watching on Twitch. But yeah, that's the flyer for the upcoming live from home. The link is in the description of this video. If you haven't turned on the notifications yet, please do so. I'm sorry, I'm messing with the mic for a second. Let me adjust that. But yeah, definitely make sure you turn on your notifications and be sure to set your reminder so you don't miss the show. It's going to be dope. And remember, these shows that I do, these live from homes, will be happening for the rest of the year on the channel, the last Friday of every month. And yeah, man, it's going to be exciting. Yeah, man, thanks, Alex. Appreciate it. I'm excited for it as well. Also, man, shout out to man, boy Blaze. I appreciate you so much. Am I going to Annapolis Comic Con tomorrow? I actually didn't even know about the Annapolis Comic Con. I won't be in attendance as of right now, but that's going to lead me to the next thing, which are the upcoming cons that I plan to attend. So thank you for the segue. And thank you also for the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. All right, so let's go ahead and switch it up and talk about these upcoming cons that I'm going to be attending. So yeah, so first of all, if you're in Atlanta or nearby, I am planning to attend MomoCon. I should be there with some of the homies. Shout out to my man. Shout out to IQ who will be there, and many other homies who will likely be joining as well. I heard Mega Ran's going to be there as well. But stay tuned for announcements. That's going to be happening in May. I believe it's May 26th through the 29th. All right, so that is the first con that I will be attending for sure this year, as likely as a performer slash guest. So I will be there. I will also be in attendance for BlurredCon. I've never missed a BlurredCon that happens right here in the DC area, and I will definitely be in attendance. No panels or anything confirmed just yet, or performance, but I will keep you posted. Regardless, I'm always posted up at BlurredCon, so just know that if you're going to be at BlurredCon, you will likely see me present doing something. I'm always doing something there. All right. Other cons I will be at, I'm planning to be at Otakon July 29th through the 31st. So I will definitely keep y'all posted as more details come out about that. No major announcements have come from them yet because details are still being finalized. Shout out to my boy IQ once again for the connect with that. Definitely, man. I'll see you at BlurredCon for sure. All right. And lastly, the other con that I will definitely be at this year is Anime NYC. I will be at Anime NYC from the 18th through 20th in November. And so details haven't been confirmed just yet for exactly what I'm planning to do. We're still in talks about some things, but regardless to how things pan out with that particular con, I will definitely be in the building. So yeah, that's what it is. But let me know if you have any questions about those cons. Let me know if you are interested in attending any of those cons and need help finding more info. Most of those cons, you can just Google the name of the con. The website will come up and give you all the info you need. But definitely, if you have questions, let me know. And remember, we are going to jump into the live Q&A a bit later. All right. But yeah, man, so that's what's going on with that right there. Outside of that, other things happening, man. So listen, I am hard at work on my next album. The next album is called Adulting. And yeah, man, keep it a buck with y'all. It's been, I think I started work on Adulting back in 2019. Right. So I've been working on this same album now for not quite 3 years, but it's on its way to 3 years. So I will keep y'all updated for like the different, like where I'm at the different points of the process and stuff. Right now, just to let y'all know, it's mainly produced by me. I did recently decide to talk with this one producer who I've been building with a lot. Shout out to AJ Rios. If y'all aren't familiar with this young guy out of Richmond, Virginia, man, he's super talented. And he's the homie. And we've been building, and I recently tapped him to send me some production. I'm planning to produce the whole record myself. So even if the tracks that I got from him don't make the album, they will be on the remix version of the project. And so I'm also thinking about doing a deluxe version of the album, because this is where I'm at with it, just to let you know. So 3 of the songs that were intended to be on the record were leaked before the record came out, because I've been working on it a while. And those songs are Make It Home. So if you heard the Soundtrack for Fatherhood album, compilation album, then Make It Home is one of the songs that is supposed to be on Adulting, that I decided to leak in advance. And I'm one of those people that once I kind of put it out there ahead of time, there's a part of me that feels like, maybe I don't put it on the album. You know what I mean? So I am kind of up in the air about that right now. Bare minimum, I'll put it on the deluxe version of the album. So there's that one. The song What I've Been Saying, which was on the What I've Been Saying Volume 1 project that I dropped. That was also intended to be on Adulting. And then another track, which was Say Less. Y'all heard the remix by Funky DL on the We Met in Tokyo project. But also there is a version that I did over my own production that only folks on Patreon have heard. So yeah, so there are 3 tracks that I've done that have already leaked, but I'm really up in the air about whether or not to include those on the final version of the album. Because truthfully, man, I've been cooking up a lot of other things, you know what I'm saying? And I'm really close to having, it's definitely going to be at least 10 tracks, likely 12. And I have most of the beats done, as I've mentioned a few times, and I've leaked beats in the past on here. Yeah, man, I'm excited for y'all to hear what I got. I'm debating to play. I might play something for y'all next week. I was debating whether I was gonna play something today, but maybe next week I will let you hear another sample of some of the production. But yeah, man, to talk about the writing side, part of the holdup has been me struggling, not so much like dealing with writer's block. Like I know what I want to talk about on the album, and I'm tough on myself when I'm writing. I have a lot of verses and songs that I've started writing for it, but I'm kind of back and forth right now about the direction I want to take those songs. And so one of the things that I say to people sometimes about how I approach like subject matter, and how I, talk about things that maybe some rappers aren't as comfortable talking about, right? Like, I don't really kind of glorify certain things in my music, and I don't really judge other people for doing what they do. You know what I mean? I don't expect everyone to be me. And so I'm really back and forth right now with certain things, because like I'm always trying to, it's a tough thing to juggle when I want to rap as if no one's in the room, right? Like I want to rap like no one's listening. In other words, I want to be as vulnerable as possible and as honest as possible without worrying about being judged. And so rapping like no one's in the room sometimes is hard, and it can be a bit, I mean, it's kind of like, it's a little selfish too, because it's like you're not really concerned with the audience. You're really just trying to meet like some personal goals, or just satisfy yourself, which for some people it might be a tough listen. But at the same time, you're always trying to juggle that a bit, no matter who the artist is. I always feel like there's a bit of a juggling act too, where you're also trying to meet some of the expectations out there. Not all, but some of them, in terms of like, the sound that I know that people are accustomed hearing me over a certain sound. So I love that sound. So I don't mind kind of having some of that in there. But at the same time, there's some tracks on there. Like there's one track that I actually, I think I played a little bit in one of my lives before. But there's a track on there that basically is influenced by like Baltimore club music. So it's really, really upbeat. And it's different. It's different, but there's still jazz elements in it. And there's a crazy break beat that I'm rapping over and that I chopped up. So yeah, man, it's really, really interesting. And I'm excited. I'm excited for y'all to hear it, man. I think it's dope. And it's really, really different. But the feedback I've gotten so far from the different people in my inner circle who've heard it so far, and a few fans who I've kind of let hear it on the low, has been excitement. People it's very different, and everyone says the same, like, yo, it's so different, but it's dope. Oh my God, I love it. And so that's dope, man. That makes me, it's fun to still be doing different things and trying new things, but at the same time, not completely losing people who've been on this ride with me for a very long time. So I'm grateful, you know what I mean? But let me take a break and talk about that, see what these comments is hitting out. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, man. Anime NYC, I will see you there. Hell yeah, I'm eagerly anticipating adulting. Thank you, family. I appreciate it. That guy, Frankie, peace, family. Good to see you up in this joint. Level up, Kev. Hey, man, thank you so much. I'm honored, you know. You, peace. What's going on, 3BD? All right. Let's see. Someone said, oh, Frankie said, which is why you're one of the few rappers I can still listen to at my age. I'm so tired of grown man listening to drugs, killing, sex, cars, etc. that rappers of all ages still put out. Yeah, it's, again, man, I like, listen, I don't, I try not to judge folks, you know what I mean? Because there's some folks I've spent some time with in the biz, and some of that stuff is very much their life, right? Like there's certain things that people talk about, like the certain rappers where they talk about money a lot. Even I've talked about money a little bit in my music, you know what I mean? But I try not to judge too much, but I understand that can be exhausting, B. Like when everyone is saying the same thing. And the funny thing is there are certain things we all experience in our life that no matter how much you listen to hip hop or like different rappers, it's just certain subject matter like folks just shy away from. They just don't want to, I think a lot of people avoid the mundane as well, like the day-to-day stuff, because because one, music is not just a form of art, it's also entertainment. So they try to avoid subject matter that virtually anyone can relate to, and try to hone in on certain personal experiences that are unique to them, which I think, I think that's dope. But I think there's generic stuff that we all do that like there's sometimes something unique in those moments, right? That we can kind of touch on too. And then I think that, and to keep it a buck, and I think a lot of folks are just being dishonest with themselves too, where they succumb to the whole entertainment side of it, so they don't put enough of themselves in it, or they don't put too much of themselves in it. They try to balance it where it's like some honesty with some entertainment, which I'm not mad at. You know what I mean? Some of my favorite rappers do that, so like I get it. Let's see what else we got. If the other tracks are anywhere near as good as the 3 you already leaked, then I'm copping that deluxe edition. Hey, Alex, thank you so much, family. What expectations do people have of you? I would think your honesty and vulnerability is what draws people towards your music. Yeah, no doubt. That's definitely part of it. And I'm sorry if the internet connection is moving a bit slow. For whatever reason, I'm actually plugged into my Ethernet, which is crazy. So, but it's giving me little connection warnings over here, letting me know that things are slowing up. So if that is happening, I apologize. There's only so much I can do over here. But anyway, in terms of what expectations I have, that's a great question, because a lot of times people don't really know, because I don't really post about it all the time. But, and this is me keeping it 1,000 with y'all, right? Like, I think there are people who, when they see me still making music and see me at it, like still they think I'm anxiously like doing it still and trying to like blow up big, right? Like of course, I want things to happen that kind of raise, keep elevating me, you know what I mean, and do whatever I can to continue to elevate my actual art slash music, but then also elevate my career, right? Because not just because there's more money. I mean that basically also makes my family life better too. It allows me to provide more for those I care about. But my goal isn't really to blow up, right? And pay attention. I really just kind of, the reason why I do these lives, I'm not doing these lives because one day I hope to go on live and then it's 100 people watching or 1,000 people watching. I mean, if that happens, great. But like, that's not really why I do this. I really do what I do to keep those who know what's up, like the people who appreciate what I do and the fact that I still enjoy it, to keep, those folks engaged, right? Like, so if like, it's like we're all in this club together, and I'm good with that. However, it'd be great to see a little more, but that's not the main objective. So sometimes I come across people, and these are people who know me, which is really interesting. Because it seems like everyone thinks they're an A&R, right? So sometimes people who aren't really familiar with the business, who are just kind of, they're casual rap fans, you know what I mean? People who really like hip hop, they're oftentimes trying to tell you what they think you should do. They and not necessarily on some telling you what to write about, but more so like, I got a homie who's been around since I was like 18 or 19, who's just like, yo, man, you need to do more of the harder stuff, son. Like, it's like, man, like, because I don't think people realize the type of bars you got and blah, blah, blah. And the truth of the matter is, I enjoy doing the punchline stuff, the clever wordplay, all of that. That's my bread and butter. That's how I got started, right? And that's definitely still a part of what I do. I just don't, every track isn't that. And majority of the tracks on most of my albums aren't that. And here's the God honest truth to why I don't. And part of it is, I enjoy writing these more personal and vulnerable tracks. But I also, from a business standpoint, those are the least lucrative songs I've ever done. And that's keeping it a million. So when I do my lyrical thing and like really just kind of show people that like, whether you're a fan of like the Elzais, the Royce the 5'9s, and Redmans, all of the people who do the heavy punchline wordplay battle rap, like, bro, that's what I come from. So I can do that no problem. Like, no problem. You know what I'm saying? And if you know my history and know the rappers like I came up with, then you understand that that's very, very much a part of my arsenal too. But the truth of the matter is those songs, in terms of streaming, sales, and from a business standpoint, for me, those songs don't perform as well. And oftentimes a lot of my fans don't even know they exist. You know what I mean? So over the years, I've kind of pulled back from doing as many of those tracks just because I'll do it. And that, like, the perfect example is the song I got out right now, Splendor, which has been out since 2015. And I think that song just passed like 15,000 streams. And it only has done that because Spotify, a shout out to the homie Marvin, who curates a playlist over there that is basically putting some really dope indie, like hip hop, like soulful, like lyrical stuff on there. And they tapped that song, which didn't even have 2,000 plays before they tapped it. And so now that song is growing, but it's not because of my core fan base. It's because of these new folks who didn't know who I was or know I made that type of hip hop to begin with. So yeah, man. So anyway, that was a super long-winded response to it. And I guess I should put the Q&A joint on the screen since clearly we in it right now. You know what I mean? But hold on one second and I'll get back to y'all questions. Bow, Q&A time. Get back to these comments. But thank you, Nice Afro. Frank Goida, I'm not sure if I said your name right. I apologize if I didn't. Sub and sign were so damn different. I never heard anyone rap so honestly and hard at the same time. Hey, you all right with me, Frank? We got two dope Franks in here. Thank you, Frank. You know what I mean? Shark G, what's going on, man? Peace, family. Thanks for joining us. The other Frankie says, the OG Frankie says, I grew up in the worst of places in Newburgh, New York, but as a person, I want to move on. I need encouragement slash wisdom, not so much the troubles and mentality I was going through as a youngin. Love your music. Hey man, thank you so much for that, bro. And I feel you. I feel you. I'm always looking for things that's gonna help me grow. Of course, you know, when I hear that type of stuff too, man, like, and that's another thing. I think sometimes because of what I talk about, people don't understand that people don't believe I'm from the type of environment I'm from. They don't know how many situations I've been in. You know what I mean? They don't know that, you know, I've like, they don't know how many times I've been like harassed by police, held at gunpoint by cops, or like been in the back of cop cars, or they don't realize that like I've been shot at multiple times or whatever, like from neighborhood beef, or like literally seeing people killed in front of me. They don't, and the funny thing is, it's not like I haven't mentioned this stuff. Like if you listen to some of the songs that aren't Nujabes related, you know what I mean? I talk about a lot of these different experiences, but those aren't my most popular songs. So when people do hear those moments, they think I think sometimes there are some of the core listeners who think I'm trying to move away from the I guess what they're accustomed to hearing from me. But it's a lot of times I find that those people are only accustomed to listening to certain tracks from me, and they don't really kind of dive deep into the catalog, you know. So it's interesting, you know. But rappers boast and stunt, show off, scared to be looked at as something so yeah, trying to be hard, but they hardly real, make so-called music you hardly fit. Word. You know what I mean? That's from the song Heart with Kenichiro Nishihara. Yeah, man, it's, you know, it is what it is, you know. I love small strings like this. Hey man, thank you, Shark G. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, clap it up. We got Katie Fox in this joint. Katie Fox up in here. Clap it up for her. You know. Good to see you, sis. Peace, peace, peace. Yeah, man. Let's see what else we got. Nice afro. True. Before getting into it or watching more things about music, I was surprised and also happy to hear people were able to make a living without being enormous musicians slash creators. Yeah, man. I mean, yo, that's been a blessing for real, for real. And I don't want to pretend like it's been easy or like it's always easy. Like, you know, I'm just out here crushing it financially all the time. Like, you know, but for the most part, like, man, you know, I do fairly well and stuff being a virtually unknown independent artist. And but I also recognize that my audience is bigger than I think what some people realize. And that's how I've been able to make a living. I also come from like next to nothing. You know what I mean? And I've mentioned this a few times. You know, there was one point in time where my family had like 4 major deaths in our family in a year. And at that point, that was like coming off of like we had multiple years back in a 5-year period where we had a minimum of 3 deaths a year in the family. And so at one point, our family was so financially strapped from paying for funerals for folks that we had 13 people living in a 3-bedroom apartment, an apartment that had as many bedrooms as the one I stay in now with my family, but a lot smaller in terms of square feet. And yeah, man, and it was, you know, we had lost that year. We had buried my what was it? A nephew, one of my nephews, a niece, my grandfather, and my uncle who I was closest with, all in the same year. And so being that I went through those experiences and had like, you know, had those times where like it was next to nothing, you know, like had nothing, like next to nothing financially and stuff, you know, there are moments where things get tight for me and mine now, occasionally, depending on what's happening, right? And probably late last year when like my uncle passed and then my mom got really, really ill and it was real scary. Like it was a chance where I thought we were going to lose her, you know. A lot of things were happening at once, and it was a huge financial burden. And on top of that, business was slowing down, right? But like because I've been through those things so many times and stuff, you start to learn how to navigate, try to stay positive, and it's difficult, man, because I've dealt with bouts of depression and feeling down and things like that. But yo, you just I don't know, man. You just try to persevere, you try to stay positive, try to surround yourself with people who love you and you keep pushing, man, you know. But yeah, Facts. Elzai is nasty, and he has an album that dropped today with Georgia Mudro, if I'm not mistaken. I got to listen to it. The bot thinks I've blown up. apparently, I tried to drop that bot thing up in here, or set it up just to see how it would go, and keep oh, I think you talking about the other bot. I thought you were talking about the one that I set up that drops the merchandise link. But yeah, I get those from time to time. Apparently, I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? Anyway, all right. Are you thinking of doing more of the lyric breakdown videos? Yes. Hey, so I am super guilty because I've been slacking, yo. And it's not so much I've been slacking. I've been swamped, really, if I'm keeping it a buck. So my plan is to do the Blessing It one next. I've already set up all the behind the scenes stuff. I just haven't had time to do it. We've been meeting a lot of clients, deadlines for clients and stuff. And then also I'm just in a lot of meetings from time to time, man, and doing different things to set certain stuff up via our business. And then also one of the biggest challenges, my daughter, my wife and I are like, we work from home, and then my youngest daughter is home all day with us and stuff. So we're homeschooling her while trying to get work done. And then my wife is making moves and got this other opportunity and stuff. So it's a lot happening during the day, and it's become a bit more challenging to get as much content as I'd like to get done for the YouTube channel. But I am absolutely going to do more lyric video breakdowns. My plan is to do Blessing It next, followed by Your Greatest Weapon. I want to break those two down next. And then after that, we're going to see if I can keep the streak going strong. You know what I mean? But the challenge is I do these myself. I do have a guy I work with who handles my video content. But, I only make so much money on YouTube. I make a little bit of change and stuff. It helps to pay a few bills. So I am super grateful. And I don't want to say things to y'all like, well, if y'all gave me more money, I'd be able to. But the reality of it is, between the amount of views my videos get on average and the amount of donations that the channel gets, I can't necessarily afford to pay someone else to edit my content. So that means that every time I create videos and stuff like that, that's why I do so many of the lives, because it's a bit easier on me. But it's still a lot of work. So the plan is that as the channel continues to generate more followers, more subscribers, eventually bring some people in to support the technical side of things and help me with the editing, so it can free up some of my time. So that's what that's about. But I appreciate you for asking about that, because I'm glad y'all enjoy them. You know what I mean? Because I definitely want to do more. Oh, we got another dope individual up in here. Hey, man, shout out to Orion Song. Clap it up for Orion Song. If y'all aren't familiar with this man, y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. I don't be on here stamping everybody, but if I stamp them, that means they are dope. And Orion Song is a very talented person who I have a new song coming out with him and Avicii at the end of this month, March 25th, the same day as the show with me and Steph. So definitely check him out. He has a really dope single that just dropped as well. So be sure to subscribe to his channel. All right. Let's see what we got up next. Tommy Hackett says, I love the honesty. You reminded me of a pro MMA fighter who complained about barista trying to give him advice about fight tactics. Unreal how man. It's one of those things. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with people offering advice, but sometimes when it's unsolicited, when you didn't ask for it, right? Like, because sometimes like people be like, hey, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then you tell people a thing, right? And you just tell the people the thing, but you're not necessarily asking them like advice on the thing. They just ask what's going on and you told them, right? And sometimes it's cool because sometimes they drop a gem. But a lot of times it's just like, it's, because what I try not to do is, like, for example, my man Sherm's a barber, right? I'm not offering Sherm advice on how to be a barber. You know what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, because people like rap and they listen to a lot of rap, you oftentimes, as a rapper or MC, whatever, however you define yourself, you often find yourself getting advice from people who've never been a professional musician, let alone rapper. And because they like a certain type of rap or type of rapper, they're trying to offer you advice on how to move through your career as if they've done this successfully. Or like outside of that, not even them doing this. Like, yo, you're not an A&R. You never worked for a record label. You don't understand how points work. You don't know what publishing is. You don't know about like what sound exchange does. You don't know how to copyright music. I can keep going, bro. Like, there's so many things about this business you don't understand. You're talking to me about how I should deliver my rap. Meanwhile, you don't understand that like there are folks out here paying me to do 4-hour lectures to tell people about how to navigate this business, how to rap and perform, and what type of song to make is a very small piece of the grand picture. You know what I'm saying? So, and understand, if you see me doing a lot of a certain type of rap, maybe I've carved out my niche and I understand my audience a bit better than you. And you're trying to make me sound like rappers you like so you can listen to me more, as opposed to understanding why I'm taking a different point of view and maybe navigating the biz a different way, and wondering why like I'm continue to do that for 20 plus years, and clearly I'm doing all right for myself. But you know, yeah, folks don't get that. But I will share this little thing with y'all, man. The craziest advice, or the best advice I was ever given, and I just told this story the other day, and I ain't gonna put my man name out there because he was in the game. I'll say that much. He was in the game real heavy and is doing like real heavy time. But we used to work together, and I came off tour from Japan, came into the job, and he was just trying to learn more about what I was doing with the music, because he also did music too. So he had one foot in the game. And y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that, but then he also did music. And so when he was asking me about the stuff I was doing with Japan and all of that, I was telling him a little bit about it. And I was telling him that honestly, while I enjoyed making that stuff, sonically, I kind of wanted to move in a slightly different direction, because I saw myself as being more of an artist, like some of the stuff that we used to see on early OK Player. Like, I saw my music as potentially being fitting amongst like the Roots and Common and Most and like Little Brother, people like that. Like, I was trying to get into circles that already existed, as opposed to building my own lane. And the homie was like, but you just came back off tour, right? Doing the stuff that you already doing. And I was like, yeah, I just came from Japan doing what I do and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, right. And you already make money doing that, right? Like, you doing all right. Even though you still got a job, you making good money doing it. I was like, yeah, it's decent. It's a good start. And he was just like, bro, you sound crazy to me. Like, he's like, people like me and so many other artists are trying to get in the game, just get, people to check what we're doing. And you already kind of got a foot in. Granted, it might be on a quote unquote lower level than what some people aspire to, but you're in. And you have an audience that appreciates the thing you do. He's like, nigga, just, I ain't gonna say it exactly how he said it, because there's a whole lot of cursing involved. Like, he was just like, basically, he's like, just like really, really, really dive all the way in and really make that work for you, and build that and take that as far as you can, instead of why you trying to get in somebody else's house when you can build your own and you already got the foundation laid out. So just eat. That's what he told me. And yeah, man, I want to say about a year later, a year or two later, I met Marcus D. And when I heard his sound, I was like, yo, this will help me. This was the middle ground. Like, I felt like I love New Jabessa stuff, and I love so many other artists in that lane I work with, but there was something about Marcus stuff that it had that melody that a lot of the fans who love the New Jabessa stuff love, but his drums were what I needed the drums to be, right? Like, it felt very, the percussion in the bottom that was in the beats that Marcus was making felt a bit closer to like my origins and the type of stuff I listened to and that I really wanted to make. And so it was a perfect middle ground. And I felt like when we linked in 2007, and then by the time we got to 2009, and we finished that album in beginning of 2010, before Nujabes had passed. I felt like we found our niche, and then the rest is history. Substantial and Marcus DR Bop Alloy came not too long after that. But yeah, man. Hey, thank you so much, Kenya. Appreciate it, man. Shout out to all 21 of you watching. I don't know how many on YouTube versus Twitch, but I'm appreciative of all of y'all tuning in. Yeah, so I'm trying to catch up on comments now. Let's see. I personally feel like you were a pioneer of all of this lo-fi rap we have now, the Nujabes and Champ Blue babies. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. I didn't even recognize how influential what we were doing was until I went on, I think, urbandictionary.com. I don't know if it's still up there, but when they defined lo-fi hip-hop, they had me listed along with Nujabes, Ginseng, and a bunch of other people. This was back in 2016 or 17. I think 2017 when I first saw it. And I don't really be, out here like, yeah, B, I'm a legend. I started this. Or like, because the way I see it, what we do is just an extension of what Gangstar was doing early in their career, what Stetsasonic, what Pete Rock and CL Smooth were doing, what the Jungle Babies, Tribe Called Quest De La. It's an extension of all that. You know what I mean? So like, I appreciate you for saying that. And I think what we did was take it in a slightly different direction. I think that's my youngest daughter. She came knocking. She be knocking like, yes, Dezu, I'm working. My youngest daughter, she do not care, right? You can hear her screaming. I'm sure y'all can. But anyway, so yeah, man, what we do is just an extension of all of that. And obviously we had our different take on it, but it is very much inspired and rooted in that and the folks who came before us. So like, I appreciate that, but we're just standing on the shoulders of giants. And then there's folks standing on our shoulders, and that's going to keep elevating. It's just this huge totem that's going to continue to grow. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, shout out to Katie Fox again. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what up, Steph? Everybody clap it up for Stephanie Gayle. Yeah, love you, Steph. Remember, tune in later this month to catch our live. The link is in the description of this video. All right. Creates to you, music. Congrats. Can't talk. Congrats to you two and everyone else that works on the project for the recent success. Man, we appreciate the love. All right, let's see. Yeah, safe travel, Steph. Get home safe for sure. Man, I appreciate. Hey, Dukes. Hey, shout out to my man Dukes, UK up in here, man. Hey, shout out to Dukes, man. Dukes has showed a lot of love over the years, keeping our music in rotation out there, man. On his really dope radio show. And man, I just appreciate you so much, brother. Hopefully, man, when all this pandemic crap, comes to an end and folks can really move safely and without a worry, man. Hopefully I get to reconnect with you on the other side of the pond soon. All right. Have I ever watched Doctor Who? No, I have not. Sorry. Let's see. Hilarious. Every time you do these in person, man. All right, let's see. I'm still playing catch up. Hey, shout out to you for subbing the Orion Songs page. Thank you for supporting my fam. Supporting my fam is just as good as supporting me, man. Thank you so much. Definitely show love to the brother Orion Song. You can subscribe to his channel. Be sure to subscribe to Steph's channel and subscribe to Katie Fox's channel as well. Let's see. I think I remember you mentioned something about working with a fighting game a few months ago. Any updates or did I mishear? So I worked on music for PUBG Mobile, right? So that is already out. If you go on my main page on my channel, and I'll see if I can grab the link for you now, but on the main page of my channel, there is a bunch of different playlists, and there should be a playlist that is a collection of all of the video game music I've done. And so let me link y'all real quick in case you somehow have missed that. Bung, got it. Yeah, so if you ever want to know about all the video game / anime related stuff that I've done, video game / anime music, you can check it out on this playlist. Bong bong. All right. But yeah, but definitely check that out. But I've done PUBG Mobile, what was it? Arc Knights, what else? Hmm, I feel like there's one that I did that hasn't come out yet. I don't know what the status of that was. Sometimes the people notify me when it's out, other times they don't. I don't know the status of all of them, but a lot of the stuff that's been released is actually on that particular playlist. All right. Let's see. Words. Some people really don't know. There we go. Some people really don't know behind the practice. Musicians and artists got to try to be ourselves and keep the flavor while navigating a crowd that got a very limited or particular palette. Yes, that part. And that palette part is that's very real. Like, so for example, even us as artists have limited palettes, right? Like, there's some folks out here who take in a lot of different art, a lot of different music, and like, I'm a person, I've been on this planet 43 years. I know I've experienced a lot, but I know what I really, really like. And so I kind of pay close attention to those particular lanes that I enjoy most. And I take in a lot of that. And occasionally these days I venture out. But because my time isn't as, I don't have the same type of time that I had when I was younger to really explore everything, right? Because nowadays I'm trying to create, like, I'm creating far more than I was maybe at one point in time in my life, and my output is a bit higher. So to keep things balanced, I can only take in so much stuff, because it's one thing, like for a visual artist, I think for some visual artists it's easier to take in music because they are making they're making a different type of art while they're taking in that music, right? And so, like, a lot of times when I would make art, I got music playing. But the thing is, like, I can't have music outside of the music that I'm making playing while I'm making my music. You see what I'm saying? So I think sometimes because I'm a musician, people are thinking I'm just taking in a ridiculous amount of music all the time. And outside of my commutes, and occasionally in the crib, like while we're having dinner, and then like if it's stuff that got a lot of profanity in it, I got a family. So like, yo, if any of my kids or my wife is in the car, like with the kids with me, that limits what I can play, because I got a 4-year-old. You see what I'm saying? So I definitely don't take in as much as I used to. And I think over the last few years, even my palette has shrunk. But yeah, but when you're talking to people who don't really kind of understand about subgenres and how there's so much stuff that exists outside of the radio or outside of what certain websites or certain blogs like post, or or what mainstream, or not even mainstream, but what popular sites are posting about, like, they just, I don't know, some people just have a very limited scope, and so that can be frustrating, but it is what it is. Hey, clap it up for my Loaded Snacks fan, my fellow blurs up in here. You know what I mean? The blurs are deep in the chat today. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. But yeah, man, shout out to Loaded Snacks. Definitely a dope channel to subscribe to. I've done panels with them and appeared on their show, and they've interviewed me multiple times. So if you're a person that enjoys pop culture content, movie reviews, conversations about everything from like wrestling to anime and stuff like that, if you enjoy that type of content, definitely check out my brother's Loaded Snacks. All right. And the reality of it, so when y'all see some, y'all be like, be on it. It's the only way you getting more. That's real. That's real. Yeah, man. Shout out to Ginseng. Never worked with him, but I know a homie Marcus D has. I know I'm super behind on the comments, y'all. I'm catching up. I'm catching up. You and Marcus was magic. Soundtracks to crucial times in my life. That's love. Thank you, Frank. All right. Let's see. I can't wait to rock with you once again, bro. Definitely, sis. Same here. 7 Bay, peace. What's going on? LA in the place. Join the live super late, but I'll watch it back later. All love. I appreciate you for showing up. Nice Afro says, I don't know why for some of the VGM, some of the video game music, they don't give you guys credits in the video, or at least put your name somewhere. Man, Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Look, hey man, let me tell you something. Um, one of the toughest things, right, about sometimes doing these type of collabs is that here's the not so tough part. The not so tough part is the money. You know, I get a certain amount to do a verse on, I get paid pretty well, right? Like to do a collab and stuff with upcoming artists or more notable artists and stuff, right? And like I do okay. But in terms of what I make for like to do these video game tracks and things like that, bare minimum is 2 times more. In some cases, it's six, not six, maybe like 4 times more than what I get normally, right? So of course you're like, yeah, I mean, okay. But that that whole not properly crediting you thing. And it's crazy because behind the scenes, there are certain things they're doing, right? They're making sure the publishing stuff is straight. They're doing all of that. But that public credit, it moves the needle, right? Like, listen, I'm proud of the work I did with Nujabes. Absolutely. But yo, it can be extremely frustrating when people only ever introduce you as the guy that worked with Nujabes. Because the thing is, it's not that I'm ashamed of the work I did with Nujabes, but the fact of the matter is, Nujabes worked with me because I was already doing dope shit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I started doing dope shit when I met him and then I was like, oh, I now I rap. Like, yo, I already had the accolades of winning multiple battles in NYC, Jersey, and other places. I had already I had already worked with, I think, this company called Jibba Jabba or something like that, Jib Jab, that does the little talking head thing. Man, I had worked with that company before everyone was sending those little cool messages with the little talking heads. I had worked with that company years before like the first thing went huge. Like so my resume in terms of what I had done, like before I met Nujabes, and I tell the story all the time. When I met Nujabes, I was already working with I was already in talks with Def Jam's A&R at the time. So like I was already in it. Like I'm already in it. But because again, people only really know that. And oftentimes that's only how my story ever gets told. But yo, outside of that, I mean, like I mentioned, PUBG Mobile, Arc Knights, I've written original music for Bentley Motors. Ford Motors had the whole promo with me. Amazon, like I've worked with them in multiple capacities from before everyone knew what the whole Amazon Alexa thing was. Like they had an ad with me in it, a video that they had me shoot for promo that literally was tweeted out from Amazon's main account, sent out on their mail. Like, yo, I've been in it, like I've done a lot, and that's not even scratching the surface. So again, and it's not even like I don't share this stuff. Like I do it, I share it. But to be frank, hey man, look, I post something about Nujabes, shit go crazy. I post about other things, pardon me. I post about other things that I do, and like that shit gets like a tenth, sometimes a fifth of the traffic that anything that I post that has to do with Nujabes. And so it's like, again, it's not taking a shot at Nujabes and his legacy because, I'm a part of that legacy. But it's important to remember, I'm a part of that legacy. Like that legacy exists at the level that it does because of the contributions of people like me, Shingo, DL, and Sice, all of these artists, Pace Rock, all of these artists who were all making moves and doing major shit before we all met Nujabes. So, but I think people see what we do through a very limited scope, it's a jaded lens. And so anytime you try to remind folks, you sound like you mad, you sound like whatever. And it's just like, hey man, I'm just trying to keep you in the know. Because the thing is, all of the shit that I'm telling folks now, ultimately, when I pass away, when I'm gone and my time come, all of a sudden, all of this other shit that I've been trying to tell folks that I've been a part of for years, now it's going to get legs and people are, oh, did you know blah, blah, I bet you didn't know. You see what I'm saying? And it's not going to be just about the Nujabes thing. But the wild shit is, God willing, I live to be an old man and be 90, 100 years old and shit. See, meet my grandkids, maybe meet my great grandkids. If I'm blessed enough to live that long, the downside of it is if I don't do something between now and then that somehow is like bigger than anything else I've done and finally kind of gets maybe people to come through in droves, if that don't happen and I don't die prematurely or some shit like that, it ain't some heartbreaking situation, then that other shit I'm talking about in terms of people caring about blah, 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 that will never come. That right there is a very sad reality for a lot of indie musicians. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of fans and a lot of people don't really think about that. So the importance of that's why, hey man, that's why when I do these, y'all don't hear me complaining about limited folks. Y'all the realest. The ones who are here right now, the ones who are copping the vinyl and shit like that, regardless of what site is covering, the ones who are keeping me in rotation, regardless to what news came out about me or whatever, y'all support because y'all say y'all like it and y'all show and prove. Y'all, you know, you fuck with it. So for y'all, man, like I got the utmost respect and love for you because it's like you're a fan at the moment that like it's not cool to be a fan. You know what I'm saying? It's not always cool to be a fan of me and stuff right now. There aren't no brownie points that come with that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's a very small group of people in the world where when you say, oh, you know about Substantial, that means something to them. And then there's a lot of people, majority of folks, where that don't really mean much. And so for those of you who rock with me now, those of you who show me love at a time where it's a bit more difficult, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't come with those cool points. Hey, yo, I love y'all immensely. Got the utmost respect for the love y'all show. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Let's see. What's your take on Nujabes and Jay Dilla's birthday and death date, and the fact that Logic is born in February too, and one of my favorite artists, The Weeknd, is too, and me? Does that mean anything? Hey man, listen, I'm not Nostradamus, B. You know what I'm saying? I do know that there are a lot of Aquarius who are musicians, and a lot of notable musicians are Aquarius as well. Hence why Questlove, Dilla, and so many formed that group, the Soul Aquarians, because so many of them shared birthdays in that, like during that time of year. So yo, and I got a whole lot of peers outside of Nujabes, from my man Wild Child. Not the Wild Child that most people know. This Wild Child is a part of a group called Hydra, and he also was in Stomp, the musical that a lot of people know, the Broadway joint, and he was like the face on the poster for many years. But anyway, his whole group, all three of them, their birthday also same time of year, and a whole lot of other like dope musicians I know. Something about that time of year, man, just births a lot of dope creatives. You know what I'm saying? But you know, look, I can't speak on that. I'm a Capricorn, son. You know what I'm saying? And there's a whole lot of dope ass Capricorns out here too. You know what I mean? You know, look. So you know what I mean? January 7th, you know, squad repping. And look, this is my way of hating on the Aquarius and everybody else. I just be like, hey man, at the end of the day, the year starts with us, year ends with us. You know what I'm saying? The rest of y'all just squeeze in between there. Y'all cool and shit, but you know, Capricorns all day. You know what I mean? And look, I did this little game at a bar one time where we were throwing out dope people who shared our sign, and people kept saying all of these other folks that fit into their joint. I just kept whenever I couldn't think of somebody, I was like MLK. He ain't a musician, but I'm like, come on, bro, MLK, man, who's more inspiring than that guy? You know what I mean? You know, so we gonna claim him anyway. Let's see. Bothers me just as a fan, because you can see a ton of people in the comments asking for both Arc Knights and PUBG. Even seen some people come here and ask if you were the Penguin dude. Yeah. And this is referring, for those who don't know, he's referring to me not getting my proper credit for the video game stuff. Yeah, like that definitely gets annoying sometimes, where here's what you don't even realize. I go on those videos and sometimes leave comments trying to like do a general comment so people know that I am the artist, even though it's not properly listed or listed at all in some cases. And sometimes after I reach out, different people I know will pull strings to make that happen. But yo, like, one of the things that can happen is that people can literally who run that account can pin a comment, so that way the thing becomes more visible. And so shout out to Funimation, who did that when we did the thing. They highlighted certain comments. Hell, man, even this even happened for me when what's his name, J Hope from BTS was dancing to Eclipse. And then I basically wrote up something about that and posted about it. And then this whole fan base, man, mobilized and made sure that people saw that and knew who I was and that I was one of the, I'm like, that's super dope. I'm like, I mean, if y'all ask me about an artist that's featured on my thing, like, the reason why I brought them in is because I believe in what the work that they do and the job that they do and the art that they make. So I want them to be successful. I want them to get other opportunities because of that. And the only way they're going to get those opportunities is if I properly credit them and try, when I get the opportunity or whatever, to give them a bigger platform and let people know who they are. I do that. And so when I deal with people who don't do that, and a lot of times when that happens, it's almost always with a bigger company. And I get it. You know, the excuse will all be, oh, well, they got so many things going on. I'm like, yeah, bro, but you also got a staff, right? I'm a one-man army and I do that shit all the time. You know what I mean? And I got collaborations happening all the time. So I make sure people get their proper due. So when people hit me with like the excuse of like, oh, so many moving pieces and blah, 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 I was like, yeah, but you got a person who's literally paid tens of thousands of dollars a year to monitor that thing. And I don't see why it's hard for them to do a job that they get paid for. Because I don't get paid to shout out people. You know what I mean? I don't, but I do it anyway. So yeah, it's stupid to me, but it is what it is. Yo, Subs, J. Coulter, peace. Yo, Subs, I'm curious, when making music with Nujabes, did you ever reside in Japan for some time? The longest I would be in Japan at a time is like a month or so. I would have a studio apartment that I stayed in while I was there, but I didn't live there, like outside of being there for a month at a time. Let's see. Get a few more, and I got to get ready to wrap it up. I just realized we're past that hour time. So let me answer a few more, and then I'm going to say peace. Got to give you flowers to the ones around. Realize that after meeting you at Anime NYC, so tired to listen to everyone else. Nujabes, so tired to listen to everyone else. Nujabes collab with more. Word. Let's see, Joe Budden and Nicki Minaj were talking about the importance of artists, particularly Black artists, claiming their creative innovations and stamping them so that no one else can claim them. That part, you know. I'm a Fed baby too, animated character designer. Hey man, see what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of creatives, man, born in February. Yes, Capricorns are the best. That's my wife right there, my baby mama, love of my life. She the best. All right. Shout out to Rochelle. Let's see. My roomie Cappy too. That's what's up. Hey man, Capricorns are dope. You know, I know a lot of dope Capricorn creatives as well. Hey, what's going on, Steph? Yeah, Steph is a Pisces, you know what I mean? Sagittarius gang. I see y'all. All right, but yeah, man. Let's see. You gotta have your Pratt Institute talk anywhere before you. Oh yeah. So we did receive the footage from that talk that we did with Pratt Institute. We're supposed to chop up some clips. I do have that in the queue. So I gotta edit that up, and I don't know if they're gonna be cool with us posting the entire video. But I'll definitely try to put it into clips and post some of those so y'all can check that out. All right. But on that note, hey man, y'all the best, man. Thank y'all so much. Again, I appreciate y'all for being here and rocking with me. You know, like it's a labor of love, man. I do this because I love what I do. And I got a lot of love and respect for those of you who choose to rock with me, man. I try to say it often because I mean it. And I just want to make sure y'all always know that. And if I ever fall short of whatever expectations that folks have of me, You know what I mean? I hope you understand it almost never has anything to do with anything personal or anything with y'all. It's usually because, yo, I am a team of, like, I don't want to act like I'm the only one who's contributing to what I do, but most days I'm a team of two, and one of the main person who's working with me all the time is right here, right now, Mrs. Robinson. And so sometimes it can be a bit challenging trying to get everybody everything and do everything I can to let y'all know what's going on with me. But that's why I started doing these lives on a regular basis so many years ago, and still do them now. So just to keep y'all in the loop. So again, man, I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Shout out to I think Boy Blaze, who contributed to the video. Again, anybody who chooses to donate to the channel at any point in time is always appreciated. But you know, I never want you to feel like you have to, but just know it's greatly appreciated when you do. And I'm glad y'all were here today. I hope you enjoyed the video. New music coming March 25th with the homie Advocacy and also Orion Song, who you saw in the live. Shout out to him once again. And look out for that, along with the next live from home with Stephanie Gayle happening March 25th. It's a lot dropping on March 25th. So stick around. Make sure you check that stuff out when it drops. And yeah, man, I'll see you soon, but talk to you sooner. Peace, 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 peace.